Hey guys, CryptoDad here again. Thanks for joining me on the Saturday night live stream. I think I'm not quite there. There you go. Good to have everybody here. I'm here with the rig, and we got everything set up. I've been doing a little testing. Looks like we got everything in place. We had quite an eventful week, and as Andy has pointed out, we had quite an eventful market last night. I woke up to a bunch of carnage this morning. Pretty severe. So yeah, we're gonna talk about the news this week. The big news is the SEC bringing, well, what do you call it? Filing or whatever they did, suing the big cryptocurrency exchanges, Binance, which includes Binance US and Coinbase. And then the resulting market mayhem beyond that. But also, I want to cover the Binance situation, the Binance US situation. I did a video yesterday on how to withdraw your assets from Binance US if you want to. And this goes back to crypto basics. How do you transfer funds? And a lot of people that only use exchanges get caught up in this dollar here, dollar there mindset. And you can move your crypto assets on and off exchanges. That's kind of how they got started. This whole thing about, well, I'm going to deposit some US dollars and withdraw US dollars from an exchange is kind of old thinking. So I want to help everybody out there that's freaking out about Binance US. So we're going to cover that tonight as well. We'll talk about Bitcoin. We'll talk about the news. We'll talk about altcoins, the flash crash of altcoins last night. Gonna move some crypto around for you guys as always and do my very best to get to your questions. Once again, thanks for being here tonight. Let's move over to the big screen here. Once again, I want to thank everyone that came and joined. I think it was, no, where did he go? Andreas said it's the first time he's been here, that he was a little bit excited. So that gave me a little motivation to do the stream. It's always nice to have someone here for the first time live, and I'm glad you came. Kenny has been busy all week sending me news and talking to me today about stuff, and it's always great to have Kenny in my corner. Thank you, Dan, for being here. I don't know if JDO is here yet or not, but I did go back to subscriber only mode. Hopefully we won't have the porno spammers from last week. Well, that was beyond porno. That was it was really bad. So hopefully that will discourage that kind of behavior. So in order to comment in the live stream, you will need to be a subscriber. And you only have to be a subscriber for 5 minutes. It's not a big deal. But it does help to weed out a lot of the spammers and stuff. So we've gone back to that. We still got my cool alerts. I talked with JDO about that. I think it's fun. I would like a little feedback from everyone else about the new alerts. I haven't seen, Daddy Chill just sent me a tip, and I'm waiting for the sound to come through. Maybe the sounds aren't working. Well, if they aren't, they aren't. Yeah, they should be. I mean, I do have the alert box in here. So, yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. I usually hear them by now. But anyway, looks like I'm live. Hopefully everyone can hear me. Thank you, Daddy Chill, for that. I appreciate it. I'm not sure why it didn't do this thing. Let's try this. Okay. Yeah, see that worked. Yeah. Yeah, that worked. Maybe that is a bit loud and distracting. I don't know. Oh, there it is, finally. I don't know. Maybe I had to grease the spokes a little bit for that to come through. But once again, Daddy Chill, I appreciate that, as always. So anyway, welcome everybody. Ken, Kenny, Amsterdam, Holland, Diatom Ranger, Andreas, Mr. Miski, Simon, Marco is here again. Thanks for being here. Taxi, Dan Westra, our moderator, and JDO might also be here as well. Andy wants to know about the flash crash. Vinny, thanks for being here. Thanks for being back. Barbara K, always happy to have Barbara here with us. Diatom Ranger. Let's see. We're doing good. Yeah, we got a lot of people jumping in tonight. So I'll get straight into it. If you've never been in my live stream before, I do have in the description down below a bunch of goodies for you. Stuff we're going to talk about tonight. We'll go over that in a little more detail after we jump into the news. Ways to connect with me, my email address. Feel free to shoot me an email if you have a question. Disclaimer, this is not financial advice. Call to action, love, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. And the news stories that we're going to cover tonight are linked down below. And then a bunch of affiliate links. If you haven't checked out Ifani yet, I would highly encourage you to check that out. Let me see if I can get this here. Yeah. Ifani is a phone service that basically will completely cut off your phone services from any tampering at all. You're going to end up paying a little more for your phone service, but for the protection, it's worth considering, right? Because I don't know if I talked with Glenn or not, but he said that he walked into his carrier with his ID and tried to switch his account and do something in person with his ID, and they wouldn't let him because he had his account locked down with Ifani. It's a very good defense against SIM swaps, which are getting more and more prevalent these days, not only with social engineering of scammers calling your carrier and getting them to switch or forward phones over to their SIMs and their devices, but there's a lot of people are being bribed that work at phone carriers, and a lot of criminals are sending their what do you call that? Interns. A lot of criminals themselves are actually getting jobs at these places so that they can facilitate SIM swap attacks. So big problem in today's society and a good solution. Ifani. I have a whole bunch of, let's turn off all the news stories that I'm reading right now. I have a whole bunch of hardware wallets laying around that we're going to play with tonight. But let's dive in here. Now, it's not as bad as it may have seemed. When I woke up this morning, I try not to jump into the market first thing in the morning. I try to go out and have a little coffee, a little juice, sit out on the porch with the cat, little meditation and reflection, and just have a nice cup of coffee before I even pull up anything on my phone. I advise that for everyone. Try not to pull up your phone right away when you wake up. But this morning I did, as I leaned over and picked up the phone while I was still in bed. I saw some Twitter alerts and realized that there had been this horrible crash of altcoins last night, and I think that I have it over here. We're still kind of in it. If you look at Cardano, down 30% 7-day, 10% from 24 hours ago. I think this morning it was more like 20%. So I think there has been a little bit of a rebound. We've got Polygon down, still down 18% from where it was 24 hours ago, 33% for the week. Avalanche down 16%, 20% over the last week. So yeah, we had quite a bit of commotion in the market last night, mostly due to the fact that the SEC has declared these cryptocurrencies to be securities, at least in their suits against Binance and Coinbase. This has not mean that they are securities. This just means that the SEC is using that as an excuse in their suit. And there has been no formal determination that these are securities. It's just the SEC claiming they are. So the SEC can say a lot of stuff, but they don't pass laws. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, a lot of FUD in the market. But Bitcoin has sort of held its own. I remember back in the early days, 2017, and then 18 and 19, and even 20 and 21, smaller things have caused greater volatility in the Bitcoin price than what happened last night. Right. I've seen like Bitcoin down 10, 20% on just stuff that people said about Bitcoin. You know, I don't remember how much the entire crypto market took a dive when Trump said he didn't really much care for Bitcoin. And that was back in 2018. And then, I mean, it's just not as bad as I've seen it, right? I don't know if that's saying much, but yeah, Bitcoin's only down less than 3% over the last 24 hours. So Bitcoin's kind of holding its own. So here's the article. Bitcoin price avoids 3-month lows as CryptoDad's liquidates 390 million. Bitcoin and altcoins feel the pressure of the week's regulatory bombshells, with Bitcoin price action steadying below the key 200-week moving average. So it did break the 200-day moving average. So this might be the calm before the storm, or we could be in the eye of the hurricane. It's hard to say. Bitcoin challenged 3 months lows into June 10th as altcoins in particular felt the heat from the United States regulatory pressure. Altcoin bloodbath as exchanges reshape landscape. While showing weakness, Bitcoin was spared the fate of major altcoins, which reacted strongly to delisting that accompanied U.S. legal action against major exchanges. Trading app Robinhood announced that it would remove support for several cryptocurrencies named in the lawsuit against Binance and Coinbase by the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission. These subsequently hemorrhaged value, with both ADA or Cardano and Solana down nearly 25% in the 24 hours at the time of writing. And as I mentioned, they have come up just a little bit from there. So Robinhood taking action against by delisting these on their platform had a big impact. And you got to remember that Robinhood, when you trade cryptos on Robinhood, as far as I know, they will not allow you to withdraw the cryptocurrency to your own wallet. I may be mistaken about that. But even if you could, most of the people using Robinhood are not crypto savvy as far as self-custody goes, and they're basically just trading from within their brokerage accounts. So, it's not really crypto in Robinhood. It's just a price marker or a token representing the market value of that cryptocurrency. So maybe that's for the best that these cryptos aren't listed on Robinhood anymore, because it's not really self-custody when you use Robinhood. And I don't mean to badmouth them. I'm just stating the reality. So yeah, we'll go into this. This is the 20% slide in Sol, ADA, and Matic tokens. Sudden move in days after SEC lawsuit allegations. Remember, allegations, right? Allegations does not mean they've actually filed a court against them, indicted them. They've just, I don't know. It's just no one has been proven guilty yet. It's just they've filed this suit against them, right? Hasn't been day one in court yet. So a lot of this SEC stuff is just them throwing their weight around. But they do have a lot of clout, so I won't make light of that. Tokens of major blockchain networks slid more than 20% in the last 24 hours amid a likely risk-off event after 13 tokens were alleged as securities in a U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission lawsuit against crypto exchanges Binance and Coinbase. The bulk of these losses came in the wee hours of Saturday, data shows. Solana, Polygon, Cardano fell as much as 25%. Such moves push weekly declines for these tokens to as much as 34%, right? These are some of the charts that I had already shown you. So we've kind of talked about that. And then, I do want to show you, it's tough. I know that Kenny sends me a lot of articles, and I appreciate it. But by the time Saturday rolls around, a lot of these articles are basically old news, or new stuff has happened behind those events that have sort of obscured the actual events themselves. So it did take me a little bit of digging to find the actual articles where, they announced Binance and CZ are sued by the SEC. This was June 7th. Which would have been Wednesday, right? But actually, I think it happened on a Tuesday. So, and then the other one, SEC sues Coinbase for breaking U.S. security laws. That's June 6th. So that story came out on Tuesday. So, yeah, a lot's happened since then, right? So those are the stories, that's basically what's driving the market right now. And I have those stories linked down below if you missed the news. I know not everyone has got their nose in the news every single day. We've all got lives, jobs, families, hobbies, working in the garden, all that stuff. We may not be like reading the crypto news on a daily basis. So if you didn't know about this stuff, you're here and you know about it now. So anyway, and then this article is kind of an opinion article about how this is going to be bad for DeFi, even though, and it's funny, the SEC has gone against these big exchanges and claiming that these tokens are securities, but they haven't actually, raided the office of, Cardano or Polygon. I don't know where their offices are, but they haven't really formally charged the people that run these cryptocurrencies with violating SEC regulations, right? I don't know if they would. If there was some company that was selling their stock illegally, it would be weird for the SEC to charge the NASDAQ. Well, I guess maybe they could charge NASDAQ for simply listing the security, but it would seem to be more appropriate for them to go directly after the company itself. And as far as I know, the SEC has not done that. No one is charged, now I can't think of the guy, Charles, who does ADA? Charles Hoskinson's with, promoting a fraud security, right? These companies are in the business of building blockchains, right? So it's kind of weird that they're not going after the cryptos themselves; they're going after the exchanges that are listing them. But the problem is that because they have declared these cryptos to be securities and that they're being listed, not properly being regulated, right? People are going to shy away from these on third-party exchanges, right? So if you've got if you're on a third-party exchange and you're trading in Sol, ADA, or Matic, or Filecoin, or Atom, or any of these cryptos, you're probably going to be a little hesitant. So the fact that within these suits against Coinbase and Binance, they've called these cryptos out as being unregistered securities or unlicensed securities, it's going to be bad for people holding these, right? People are going to be hesitant to invest, hesitant to use third-party trading applications, right? So there's going to have ripples across the DeFi space, even though the SEC is attacking the centralized exchanges that are listing these assets. Really, I got that out. Anyway, that's good for the news. Let me see if I can get caught up. I'm just looking over here at what's going on in the chat window. I'm just going to scroll back up a tad and see if I can get caught up. If there's anybody, and after I've caught up on the chat, I'll just dive straight into Binance. Right? We need that. I'll ask before Papa Crypto, if you were about to lose everything, your wife, your life, would you sell your XP something? I don't know what you mean by that. If you were about to lose everything, would you sell your, I don't even know what those symbols are. Can someone tell CryptoDaddy how to pronounce my name correctly? Who is Daddy Chill? Did I mispronounce Daddy Chill? I don't know. What did I say? So I bought Ledger Nano, haven't opened it. Should I send it back? Came all the way from France. Okay. I wouldn't send it back if you want a decent hardware wallet. There's nothing inherently insecure that wasn't already there before. Just because a Ledger has announced this new service. I wouldn't use their new service, and the fact that their service makes key export possible is not really a deal breaker on the device itself. But a lot of people in a panic have been saying that ledgers are not secure anymore, and that's an overreaction. That's not really true. They aren't any less safe than they were the week before. They announced their recover service. But like I said, I would not use the recover service. I don't believe in storing your private keys in the cloud or in someone else's custody, right? That goes against everything about crypto. But just because they're offering the service and the ability to export their key does not make their device any less secure than it was before. There is a very small argument that can be made about this. The fact that they are allowing the key to be exported kind of reveals that it was always possible, but that doesn't mean that they were doing it, right? Just meant that it was possible. It's possible that I might get hit by a meteor if I walk outside, but that doesn't mean I should wear a helmet. I don't know if that makes sense. That analogy makes sense. But, it's just sort of like, we have more chance of getting into a car accident than we do of losing all our crypto on a Ledger device, but we still drive. Our lives are all risk assessments, right? We evaluate the risks and then we decide what to do based on the risk assessment. So the risk assessment for using a ledger device is a very, very small, thin attack surface that people are talking about. Right, that's my take on it, right? I haven't thrown away my ledger device, but there are other devices out there, and I would like to, before I jump too far into everything, let you guys know that I haven't done BitFi yet. I haven't contacted them. I realized that BitFi was the wallet that McAfee was touting back in 2017 and 18. And it has a lot of emotional baggage attached to it. And I believe it's kind of a way you hold the private key in your head, something like that. So it's got, I don't know if I really want to deal with this. It's been around for a long time. It claims to be the world's unhackable wallet. There's really no such thing. But that's another thing I'll cover, is that nothing is unhackable. Nothing is 100% safe and secure. I don't know. People seem to think that, and now all of a sudden that they've been informed that that's not the case. They're suddenly freaking out. Nothing is 100% in this world. I don't know why anyone would think it was. But anyway, I don't know that I'll do a thing on BitFi. But I would like to let everyone know that I did hear back from Cold Card, and they are going to send me one of their wallets and I think some other stuff. So I will get Cold Card pretty soon. And then also Engrave. I heard back from them. I had reached out to them. I had been talking to one of their co-founders back in 2020 when I first heard about this wallet. And it was weird when I went to shoot them an email. I thought, this seems very familiar. And I did a search in my email, and sure enough, I had been going back and forth with one of their co-founders back in 2020. So I got in contact with him and his company. He got back from vacation on the end of last month and got caught up on all his emails, and they're going to send me an Engrave. So I've given them my addresses. I think the Cold Card is already shipped. The Engrave, I'm not sure if it's actually shipped yet, but I have given them my information. So look forward to that. And also, I did a video. I did a couple of videos this week on, I did one video on the Nifty hardware wallet, which has now gone dark. I don't know if it, oh, okay. I think it goes to sleep after a while. So we can play around with that. But let me just quickly show you guys. Let's do this. And I just want to point out that I did a video yesterday on Binance US changes, how you can withdraw your assets from Binance. And then I did a video on the Nifty X, which is an NFT-centric hardware wallet. It's pretty cool. And I think I did the custom derivation paths before last week's stream, right? Last week was the 3rd. Yeah, so I had already done this. Yeah, so I did these two this week. So check out those videos. Just go to my YouTube homepage and you should click on videos and you should see these latest videos. Subscribe to my channel if you like my content, all that good stuff, right? All right. So let's see. Gonna have some new wallet reviews coming in soon. So stick with me for that. Now, let's see. Let me look at the chat window over here. A lot of people in the chat tonight. Thanks for being here. Bitcoin is the only coin worth my money. Okay. Sentiment, institutional market manipulation. Just hold the line. I like that. Thank you, Astronomy Live. Now that you can, but I still wouldn't use Robinhood for crypto. Think Blue. Scott Lee is here. Thanks for being here, Scott. PJ Playhouse. Ledger is so bad. Hey, JDO is here. Not everyone was aware of the fact that Ledger always could have a bad actor as a programmer in the future. Ledger has talked a little bit about how they have a system at their company for pushing out firmware updates, and it requires more than one person to actually authorize a firmware push. So the fact that there might have been one bad actor at Ledger is they've kind of handled that with their system for pushing out firmware updates, but that doesn't rule out Ledger as a company being a bad actor, so to speak, right? But yeah, like I mentioned, Ledger pushing out a bad firmware update that was maliciously stealing people's private key is just a small possibility. As I mentioned, it's just a possibility. It was brought out in one of their support chats that, yes, there's always been that ability, but that doesn't mean they've done it, right? It's a very small possibility, and it's always been there. And yeah, so I get it. But yeah, they do have a system so that not one bad actor can push out that kind of stuff. I would have never paid $10 for a service that steals your private key and stores it on a secret server somewhere. Yeah, I mean, they legitimately want to manage your private key for you because they deal with people that have mismanaged their private keys every day, and they're just trying to fill a need. So I don't think it's really malicious. I just think it's badly implemented and badly conceived, right? I get why they do it. You know, they see a revenue stream there, or why they want to do it, but it violates everything about crypto as far as storing private keys. I would never do it. It might be good for some people, but it's not really self-custody. It's not true self-custody when you have someone else managing your private key out there. But neither is Robinhood self-custody, and neither is trading on Coinbase self-custody, and neither is trading on Binance US self-custody, but people do that, right? So yeah, we're all great crypto enthusiasts here. We all care about self-custody and wallets and knowing how to do transfers and stuff, but the large majority of the population do not care about that stuff. They just want to invest in something that's going to make them money. So we can't fault Ledger too much for wanting to get into the managing people's private keys for them, right? Because people have shown that they're really not good at it. Just the fact of life, right? We live in a convenience-based society, and most people don't. They probably are smart enough to, but they don't care to. And that's that's the sad fact. And I've been dealing with this for the last 4 or 5 years, with my YouTube channel. Most people really, I get a lot of comments that this is too complicated. I don't want to do this, right? And that's what the need that Ledger is trying to fill. So I don't think that, just because they found something that can help them make a little extra money, that they're suddenly the bad guys. Okay. Best place to buy Bitcoin since I don't want to use a traditional exchange? ? That's a good question. I don't really, there are sort of like weird ways to buy Bitcoin. I don't know that they're much better than using traditional exchanges. I still think the best way to purchase Bitcoin would be using a traditional centralized exchange like Coinbase, Kraken. I'm not signed in right now. Gemini, crypto.com. Crypto.com is a phone-based cryptocurrency exchange. You can still cash out using Crypto.com, and I just wanted to point out that they've over on Crypto.com, Bitcoin is broken 26 again. Let's see where it is over here at the top. They're still showing the price of Bitcoin under 26 right? So we don't really know where crypto.com gets its data, but you can still cash out with crypto.com if you want to. They have ACH deposit and withdraw. You can still get dollars in and out of crypto.com. You can still use their crypto.com metal Visa card. So we still have crypto.com as a fiat on-ramp and off-ramp. We still have Coinbase as a fiat on-ramp and off-ramp. We still have Kraken. We still have Gemini. You can still cash out crypto using Cash App if you're not aware of this. Where is it? I haven't used it in so long. They might ask me to log in. Yeah. So let's see. And they've damn it. Yeah, I don't know where they keep Bitcoin now, but maybe they don't have it anymore. I don't know. I haven't used it in so long, but it was my understanding that you could still, I should have Bitcoin in here. Let me look at this. I'm just like so tired of revealing personal information here. Where in the heck is their Bitcoin? Huh. Okay. Maybe they don't support it anymore. I don't know. Yeah, that's weird. Maybe they don't. Maybe they stopped using it. Okay, whatever. Yeah, I can't find it. All right, does anybody know? Yeah, because they used to support Bitcoin. Maybe they stopped supporting Bitcoin. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, that's what I get for not like checking. Anyway, so yeah. Cash App. Okay, PayPal. I believe you can still deal with crypto in PayPal and cash out if you want. Right. So just because Binance US has gone full non-US dollar, it's still a functioning exchange. Yeah. Okay. So let's go into Binance US. I have a little Bitcoin in Binance US. Aaron, my friend, I don't know if Aaron's here tonight. She's usually silent, observing, but she wanted to know about BNB coin. And so I have a little US dollar coin in here. And just to show you that we can, if we want to, we can withdraw our US dollar coin, and don't use the Ethereum network, use the Polygon network. It's cheaper, right? You can withdraw your stable coin from Binance US over to Coinbase, right? All right, so all you have to do is send and receive US dollar coin, right? They support multiple networks. You can switch it over to Polygon, Solana, Avalanche, Arbitrum. All this stuff still works, right? Just because the SEC filed a suit does not mean that everything has simply just like stopped working, right? The crypto sphere still works, right? So we could take our Polygon from Binance US and send it over to our Coinbase account and cash out within minutes, right? So just because they have disabled US dollar deposits and withdrawals on Binance US does not mean that it's not functional, right? It's still totally functional. You can still withdraw your stable coins from Binance US. But Aaron wanted to know about BNB, so I'm just going to swap this for BNB if I can, or maybe I can't. Let's try over here. Yeah, it's weird. Okay. So I'm going to have to swap it to Tether first. Let's see here. Yeah, US dollar coin to Tether. I'm going to sell my dollar coin for Tether. Also, I got an alert from Binance US telling me I shouldn't use market orders to avoid slippage, because there's a lot of people trade in huge trades. But I'm going to stick with market because it happens so much faster. Right? So now we have Tether, and now we should be able to trade for BNB, right? That's what we want to, let's go over here to BNB. So let's see, we'll trade for BNB with Tether. Okay. I'll use market because we're not dealing with huge amounts. That should give us about $44 worth of BNB. So if you have BNB coin on Binance and, pardon me, and it's your intention to withdraw it from Binance to your own wallet, there are lots of ways to do that. On Ledger Live supports Binance Smart Chain. And you can also use MetaMask as well. Now, Ledger Live does not support Beacon Chain, right? But if you go down here to this account here, this is a Binance Smart Chain wallet. And there's the address, right? So we can easily withdraw to this address using Binance US, right? All you have to do is do a withdraw and paste in the address of your Binance Smart Chain wallet. Notice they don't like this at all because it's the wrong chain. Their default is the BNB Beacon chain, which nobody uses anymore. Don't know why it's the default now, but it still is. You just need to switch your network over to Binance Smart Chain, and then you can use that address format. Right? And let's do 5. I'm just trying to do a really small amount. Yeah, it's not much, right? We'll need our Google code for that. My Google Authenticator code on my phone. And I'm also going to need to confirm in my email. Whoops. There. Whoops. There it was. All right. You just confirm your withdrawal and off it goes. That was just a really small amount, but you will see it arrive in this wallet shortly. All right. So you can withdraw BNB to your own wallet, right? You can also swap BNB over to Tether or US dollar coin. Now, I don't know which stable coin Binance US is going to automatically convert your dollars to next week. Okay, so there we saw the BNB coin has now arrived in my Ledger wallet. Now we can also do the same thing in MetaMask, right? If we switch over to the Binance Smart Chain wallet, we can grab this address here in MetaMask and go back over to Binance US. Let's go into this BNB and we'll withdraw the rest of it. We got to take some of these decimal places off. We'll switch to Binance Smart Chain and we'll paste in our MetaMask address and preview withdraw. Off it goes. And I need my 2-factor again. Let me let this one cycle out. And that goes. And then I also need to verify the withdrawal from my email again. And that one has gone out. So it shouldn't be too long. We'll see that BNB coin in our MetaMask wallet. This is just a standalone MetaMask wallet that's set up with Binance Smart Chain. So if you're using MetaMask, let's see if we can. Yeah, it came in, right? So our balance went up. So it's very quick and easy to withdraw BNB from Binance US, right? It's not a big deal, pretty easy. If you haven't, if you have MetaMask and you're just using it as an Ethereum-based wallet, if you want to manage BNB coins, then all you have to do is go down here to Settings, and then go down to Networks over here. And you'll just want to add a network. And it's real easy now. They have a bunch of networks that you can just easily add. I've already added BNB or Binance Smart Chain. It's already in there. So, you know, I don't see that option anymore, right? But you could do the same thing. We can add the Avalanche network, right? So we could switch over to Binance Smart Chain and manage our BNB assets, right? And these are some BNB based tokens as well. Okay. Looks like Cake really took a dive. Oh man. I can maybe have some Cake in a different wallet. So now as far as stable coins, I think I kind of talked a little bit about doing the stablecoin withdrawal, but we can go back here. And of course, you can still withdraw your Bitcoin just like you could before. Let's do this Tether for the heck of it. The problem with withdrawing the Tether over to Coinbase is that you can only deposit Tether through ERC20. I don't think if you tried to withdraw it on Polygon or whatever, it wouldn't come into Coinbase, right? So like if we went over to Coinbase and tried to do Tether. All right, let's do this. Let's go back up to the top level. Let's see, Tether. You can only deposit Tether using ERC20. Only send ERC20 to this address, right? So if we wanted to withdraw it from Binance US, we would have to use the Ethereum network, and we would get hit with fees. So yeah, if we do a max there, see, they won't even let me withdraw this small amount. Has to be at least 50 Tether. It's kind of messed up, but that's okay. I mean, we could just trade it over to Bitcoin or US dollar coin. Yeah, I mean, they let me withdraw that small amount of BNB. I don't know if they would have told me the same thing with US dollar coin, but yeah, we could just swap this over to Bitcoin. Let's try this. Bitcoin to Bitcoin. Okay. Bitcoin Tether, right? Just sell all our Tether, and then they told me not to do this, but I'm going to do a market order. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, you can always swap. You're going to get hit with trading fees, but sometimes you just need to do what you need to do. If you're worried about your assets being on Binance US, then withdraw them if you want to. Swap it all into Bitcoin, swap it all into US dollar coin, swap it all into BNB, whatever you want to do. If you're going to make withdrawals, I would suggest Solana or even Matic, because the transfer fees are really low, right? So, for example, I don't know if there's a Matic trading pair for Bitcoin. Let's see. Yeah, there is. So, for example, instead of withdrawing the Bitcoin directly, which would give me like a $6 charge, we could buy Matic on, and they told me not to use market, but it'd be better to use a limit order, but I don't have the patience for that. Whoops. Oh, and you can't spend completely 100%. Right? You have to keep that in mind. So, but yeah, I mean, I don't know what my trading fee was on that, but in order to, I don't know if I'm actually going to save that $6 or not with the trading fee, but we'll see. But from here, if we go over to MetaMask, we can switch to the Polygon network, and we'll grab this same address, and let's just withdraw that Polygon directly from Binance US, and just switch it over to Polygon, right? It's cheap fees, and just send it all, take the decimals off, and let's see, what are they going to charge me? 6 cents, right? That's not bad. So it's probably less than the trading fee. And just give them your two-factor. 054164. Hopefully they won't tell me it has to be 50. Well, it's more than 50, right? So that's fine. Go back here. Go ahead and confirm that. Off it goes. And then we should see our balance go up here shortly in MetaMask, if I send it to the right address. I think I did. There. All right. So easy peasy. You want to get your assets off Binance US, you don't need to do it in dollars, right? Very easy to pull your assets off into your own wallet if you are worried. But as I mentioned in my video, Binance and Binance US are not going anywhere. They've just adjusted their business strategy as kind of a screw you SEC. You know, you don't think we should be, you know, they've adjusted their policies to avoid being classified under the SEC regulations, right? So they can't be accused of taking people's dollars, right? Oh, we don't accept dollars anymore, right? It's all crypto. I don't know if that's going to help them or not, but that was their reaction when the suit got filed was, okay, we're no longer accepting US dollar. And maybe that'll be enough to get the SEC off their case. I don't know. We'll see. Did the SEC try to take over my YouTube account? Not that I'm aware of. Let's talk about hardware wallets. As I mentioned, I did this Nifty, which I think is pretty cool. Let's go to overhead here. All right, so I have this this Nifty wallet, which is it's a great hardware wallet, and I get a lot of people that complain about wallets because they're from China, as if everybody in China is trying to steal their crypto. There are a lot of products that we use in the U.S. that were made in China. I hate to break it to you, but you know, for those of you who are like don't trust wallets made in China, this is from Taiwan. They're an ally, remember? So yeah, I mean, France, Sweden. Switzerland. I mean, there's hardware wallets are made all over the world. I don't really worry too much about what country the wallet was made in. Let me put this thing in here. It's kind of a sad life to mistrust everybody and everything. Oops, doggone it. Okay, there. I think I may have missed one. No, it worked. All right, so you've got this cool little wallet here. I don't really have this thing set up. Let's look at this. Sorry about that. Yeah, you can see it better here. This is what the hardware wallet looks like, and it's kind of cool because you can view your NFTs on the hardware device, although they're not really on the device, so to speak. They just have a feature that allows you to kind of view them, and then let me see if I can. I can't do this in the mirror. I can't. I'm just not going to be able to do it, am I? It's up. There it is. So we can go up and look at a Binance Smart Chain NFT, which I think is pretty cool. And then we can go up again and look at a Polygon-based NFT. Right, so it's kind of a cool little wallet, but it also has an accompanying app. So let's go back over to, I think this one would be best, just to show you that they have an app. A lot of cool wallets out there right now. Where'd this go? Oh, this is it, Nifty, right? The Secure X. So yeah, I mean, you can see the NFTs there in the app, and then you can also manage your crypto in the app. Let me see if I can get back here. No. Oh, okay, there. Yeah, I moved, I guess I moved the crypto out of this that I had in there. I think I only put a little bit of Ethereum and Polygon in there. I should have some Polygon and stuff in there. I thought I had... Oh, let me see if it's going to show up here. Well, maybe I moved it out. Okay. Maybe it got eaten up by fees, although it shouldn't have been. I don't remember moving this stuff out. Okay. Well, I don't know. Maybe I did. Maybe I didn't. Or maybe it's connected to a different thing right now. I'm not sure. Anyway. I think it got... Yeah, I think what happened was when I bought my NFTs, I got... some fees got eaten up. Some of the base, because I had only had like some dust in there to make my purchases. So I think that's what happened to the Polygon and the Ethereum. So yeah, you always, I just kind of disregard those fees and stuff. But you can store Bitcoin, Ethereum. You can even put BNB coin in there. So let's see if we can do BNB coin. Well, let's see here. Whoops. Oh, here. There's a receive. And let's verify on the device. Don't see this. There. Whoops. Wrong one. Yeah. So you confirm the address on the device. So it's a pretty cool hardware wallet. Yep. Wrong. There we go. Right. And so if we wanted to send some BNB over here, this is Binance Smart Chain compatible. So I could copy that into my clipboard and then shoot myself an email. Whoops. And well, okay. Whatever. Okay. All right. Whoops. Pfft. Rex, can you stop revealing people's... Sorry, Aaron. Trying not to reveal people's personal emails. Okay. Trying to get over here. Actually, I need this one. Well, okay, there. Oh, boy. All right, so there is the email, or I'm sorry, the Binance Smart Chain address of the Nifty. And let's go over here and switch back over to Binance Smart Chain. And we can send some of that BNB over to this address. Maybe just part of it. There we go. And there we go. Not too much gas fees for BNB coin. Yeah. Yeah, and if this doesn't work, we'll throw the wallet out the window. Oh, God. Okay. We should see it here pretty soon. Yeah. So BNB went into the wallet. So it's a pretty cool wallet. You know, you have to remember when you're dealing with offline hardware wallets, the only reason it's plugged in is because it's charging. There's no USB interface. It's just a charging cable. The only interface for this wallet, as for now, is Bluetooth between the app and the device, right? And as I mentioned many times, the only thing going back and forth is the request and the approval. The private key signs the device offline. And the only thing I was doing there with the device was verifying the address, right? So we do that with Ledger devices. We do that with Trezor devices. So it's a pretty, the thing that's cool about that wallet is the NFT display, which I think is pretty cool. It's a new wallet. I had never heard of it, but a lot of people were asking me to do a demo on it. So that's it. And then other hardware wallets that you might want to think about if you don't want to use ledgers anymore are the Trezor models. I like the Trezor T. It's kind of expensive. Here, I'm just going to unplug this Nifty here. But it's a great open source hardware wallet. The main argument that people have against Trezor is that it's quote unquote been hacked, but the hack only works if the attacker has physical possession of the device. So my advice to you would be don't lose your device, right? I don't know, like everyone doesn't trust it. It's been hacked. I'm like, yeah, but only if they have the device. So don't lose your device, right? You got a car, you got a lawnmower, you got a gold coin. Don't lose it, right? I know people steal stuff and whatever, but I don't know. Most people are using the device in the privacy of their own home. Let's see if I can get this PIN entered. Yeah, for being a crypto guy, I'm pretty trusting. I don't know. I meet a lot of people in the crypto sphere and in my comment sections and emails that are just like totally super paranoid about everything. Oops. Okay. Now it's telling me it's not connected by USB. Okay. This cable has always been an issue. All right, let me try a different cable here. I have so many cables and connections and everything. Oops. Sorry for these lulls, but I kind of have to focus when I'm entering my PIN. Otherwise, we'd be here all night, me trying to enter my PIN over and over again. All right, so this is the Trezor T. This is the interface. This is the Trezor Suite, where you can manage your crypto. The device does communicate with your computer via a USB cable, but as I mentioned, the Trezor software and firmware is all open source, so it can be audited by a third party, and it's a pretty decent hardware wallet for storing Bitcoin and whatever, right? Although it doesn't, the Trezor Suite isn't that versatile as far as supporting lots of different cryptos. It only supports a limited number of cryptos. Yeah. So this is pretty much it, right? So I'm surprised that Ledger or the Trezor Suite doesn't support Polygon and Avalanche EMV chains. It's kind of interesting that they don't, right? But you can manage those on your Trezor device from within MetaMask, right? So if you connect your Trezor device in MetaMask, you can manage Polygon and that kind of stuff. Interestingly enough. Let's see. I'm going to catch up here. We're in the middle of a current cycle. Don't panic. We have been here before. Survivor since 2016. This is nothing. Kadasur. Either we are rich as FK or we are not, or is poor. No middle now. Anyone tell me different? I don't know. Camp stove. 2 electrically generating wood camp stoves. 150 charger USB device by the campfire. Let's see here. That's funny. Tangem wallet, is it good? Yeah, I'm sorry. I think you had been here earlier and asked me about Tangem wallet. The Tangem wallet is an interesting solution. Let's go over here and just talk about Tangem for a minute. The Tangem hardware wallet, it's like a little credit card with an RFDI chip on it. I guess it's RFDI. And when you initialize it, it will generate a random private key on the device. Now you can get more than one. You get more than one card. You want to get 2. That they only sell. The lowest they sell is a 2-pack. And that is 1 card is your go-to card that works, and then you have a backup card in case you lose one, your main card or whatever. And you can get also a 3-pack, which will give you 1 card to use and 2 backups. And it's not that expensive, right? It's only $55 for a 3-pack. The interesting feature of the Tangem card is that you are not required to write down your 24-word seed phrase or your 12-word seed phrase. The seed phrase is never revealed to the user. Now, this is a blessing and a curse. Blessing in that you don't have the potential to mismanage your seed, right? A curse for people that are more crypto savvy that like the idea of being able to manage their backup phrase in case the worst happens, right? What if you lose all 3 cards, right? Well, then maybe you still have your seed phrase written down somewhere. But that's not the way this card works, right? You never see your backup phrase. So it's good for beginners because you don't have to worry about the hassle of writing it down is removed from the equation. The the possibility of you accidentally revealing it to a hacker or a scammer has been removed from the equation. So there are a lot of pros in using this card. The main argument that I get from people about this card is that they always say, what if I lose all 3 cards? Okay, I get it, right? Yeah, if you lose all 3 cards, then your crypto's gone. That's how the card works, right? That's the so-called weakness of the card. But, what if you lose it? What if it gets stolen? Can be used, from time immemorial. You're always at risk of losing or having something stolen from you. It's just part of life. So this is a unique crypto solution that, yes, if you lose all 3, then you lose all 3. And I've seen that in the comments. A lot of people say that in the comments, and there's other commenters that will come back and say, if you can't keep track of 3 cards, then you don't need to be in crypto, And I think it's a valid argument, really. Let me show you. Tangem has an app that you can use to manage. And basically, when you sign transactions, you hold the card against the back of your phone, and I'm not sure what the protocol of the communication is. I don't think it's Bluetooth. Maybe it's Bluetooth, but it's just like signing transactions with an offline device. This is hardware. This is an offline hardware wallet, right? Your private key is stored offline. And you use the card to verify transactions, and you use the app to manage your crypto. And it's, I don't know that it's totally open source. I know the app is open source, right? You have to be aware that not everything is 100%. Let me see if I can find where they talk about. Of course, I can't find it right now. Will the card work if Tangem as a company ceases to exist? You're not into company services. Your assets are stored on the blockchain. Its code is available on GitHub with some skill. The application can be recreated and used even if Apple or Google remove it from their stores. Yeah, so their code for the app is open source. It's available on GitHub, right? The way that the private key is stored is, it uses secure chip technology, but the way the private key is stored is proprietary. And that's the same with everything except Trezor, I guess. So you have to weigh your options. And as I mentioned earlier, I don't know why there are so many people in the crypto sphere were convinced that ledgers were 100% safe and secure. Nothing is 100% in this world. I don't even, Trezor appears to be the closest thing to a fully open source system. They even have the 3D printing plans of their device. You could build one yourself. They're so transparent. But, the drawback is people say that, it's not as secure as some other hardware wallets. But only if the attacker has possession of the device. So Tangem, like a ledger device, like looking at this nifty device. Well, I can't find all my... this thing. What is this? The Descent wallet. I mean, every hardware wallet has secure chip technology that keeps the private key hidden, right? So that's the advantage of using hardware wallets, is that hackers don't know how to extract the private key. Okay. Let's see. Am I aware of being limited? I'm not sure what you mean by limited. Nothing safe or secure. Yes, it's true. Yeah. When you're dealing with proprietary hardware wallets, there is always an element of trust you have to put into the company. There, I said it. It's always been that way. People just didn't realize it. Yeah. And I mean, there are a lot of open source wallets that have like desktop based that are completely transparent and super secure, but only as secure as your computer, right? If the private key is being stored on your computer, it's vulnerable to hackers too. There are offline solutions that might be totally secure, but are extremely difficult and inconvenient to use. So, like I said, we live in the real world. We have to weigh our options. If you want to be totally super safe and secure, great. If you're willing to jump through all the hoops that it takes to manage like air gap computers and offline stuff and all that great stuff, I'm going to be evaluating Cold Card. I think a Cold Card is one of those solutions, but we'll see how convenient their wallet is to use, right? WTF, yes. Nothing is 100%. So we'll see. Barbara K., have you made a decision about what to do with the Ledger update? No, I have not. As you can see... Oh, I don't know what happened. Oh, you know, it's weird that there was an alert there telling me that my firmware needed to be updated, and it disappeared. But I have yet to update to the latest firmware of Ledger, but I was almost ready to do it. Let me go ahead and get my Ledger connected here and see if, I'm sure if I go over to the Ledger section, my Ledger, that they'll tell me I'm still not up to date on my firmware. So I'll go ahead and go into this. Oh, another thing I wanted to share with you guys. Okay. It doesn't say my firmware is up to date. It still shows that I'm running firmware 2.1.0, but it doesn't tell me that the 2.20 firmware is available anymore. Interesting. I've got it in experimental developer mode that shows unreleased apps. I'm aware of that. There's a app update available for Solana, but it's no longer telling me that I need to update the firmware on my Ledger Nano X. Kind of interesting. So we'll see how that shakes out. Haven't seen anything official from Ledger about that. They usually send me emails when they've got new stuff coming out. So I know that they paused the recovery service, but it's interesting that they're no longer nudging me to update my firmware anymore. But it doesn't say my firmware is up to date. It used to say that. If your firmware was up to date, you would have a little message next to your firmware version that would say your firmware is up to date. It does not say that, right? But neither does it have, maybe I just waited so long that it just disappeared. Right. So yeah, that's where it is with Ledger. But yeah, I have a lot of assets on my Ledger device. So it's going to be quite a chore to get, if I suddenly decided, I woke up this morning and decided I no longer wanted to use my Ledger device, the Ledger device I've been using for the last 4 years. It would be quite a chore to move all of the assets off to a different device. Big chore, right? With a lot of transfer fees involved. So it's a big decision. I haven't made it yet, Barbara. But I did want to share, if I want to try and maybe look at it over here. So I've just been revealing personal emails all night. I'm going to see if I can get this. But I wanted to share this. Oh, here it is, right here. Okay. Now, this is a very interesting email that I received. support@ledgerteam.info. Notice they're using the Ledger logo, but there is no such email at Ledger. Ledger is ledger.com, right? Not ledgerteam.info. So this is a phishing email. Now, interesting how the email plays out, right? Dear valued customer, we are writing to inform you of a crucial step required to ensure the utmost security of your digital assets stored on your Ledger device. Recent events have highlighted the importance of keeping your device up to date to validate and validated to prevent any theft or loss of funds. In light of these incidents, they give me some instructions here. We strongly urge you to update and validate your Ledger device as soon as possible. So they're trying to scare me. They're trying to tell me that my security is at risk and I need to run this update. Now, the instructions are pretty generic. They want me to connect my device, go to my Ledger Live, go to my Manager tab, and this is actually outdated. It's no longer the Manager tab. Now it's called My Ledger. So that's one clue that these guys are not legit. And then they want me to update my firmware. And there is nothing inherently insecure about me doing that, right? They're just telling me to go into Ledger Live and run my firmware update. By promptly updating and validating your device, you are taking a proactive step to safeguard your investments from potential threats. There they are trying to scare me again. Failure to do so may expose your assets to unauthorized access, theft, or loss. There they are again, using fear. We understand the security of your assets is important. We are committed to providing you with the necessary tools and assistance to ensure their protection. If you have any questions or require further assistance with the update and validation process, please don't hesitate to reply to this message. That's the kicker right there. Once they've convinced me that they are legitimately from Ledger and scared me into going and trying to update my firmware, if I was thoroughly convinced they're from Ledger, and if I tried to go and update my firmware and had any kind of issue, if I'm a novice, I have never done this before, my first instinct would be to reply to this email. Now they've hooked me, right? Now they've convinced me that they're from Ledger support, and they're going to probably, most likely what they'll do is try to walk me through the process and at some point tell me, oh, our servers are down, we just need you to give us your recovery phrase, right? That's the end goal of every scammer and hacker, is to get access to the recovery phrase. And this is just one way to do it. Now, interestingly, they didn't mention the Ledger recovery service in this email. I have a feeling that there will be a lot of scammers and hackers that will send these types of emails to people and tell them that they need to run the Ledger recovery service in order to protect their assets from loss. And then once they've hooked somebody like this, they'll be more than happy to walk you through the process and have the end user provide their backup phrase manually, right? I'm sure they'll say something like, our servers are down, we have a lot of people, but it's vitally important that you do this as soon as possible or risk losing assets. Why don't you just call us and we'll walk you through the process and you can give us your seed phrase then. So beware of scammers and hackers, right? I know everybody wants to be super safe and secure, right? And they don't want to be exposed to any of these really small attack surfaces. But the number one way that people lose their crypto is to old-fashioned give me your seed phrase phishing emails, right? This is the number one attack surface for stealing crypto, is getting people to reveal their seed phrase. And they do it with emails like this. It could be a text, it could be a Twitter DM, it could be a Facebook or WhatsApp DM or a Telegram DM. All of these attack surfaces are there to attack the largest attack surface of all, which is this gray matter in your head. That's how they'll trick you. Right? It's very rare that they're going to hack your device or, take advantage of some security in like a bad firmware update. All of those are complicated and with a very small attack surface. And difficult. Why would hackers want to go through all that trouble when the easiest way to gain access to someone's crypto is to trick them into revealing their backup phrase? This is why Ledger has come out with their recovery service. Although the recovery service does not protect their users from these types of attacks. Even if you're using the recovery service, you might be, if you lose it, or misplace it, that kind of stuff, a Ledger recovery will protect you from that. But when you use the Ledger recovery service, you still have your seed phrase written down. That's part of the process of setting up the device. Whoa! Yeah. Thank you, Asil. I appreciate it. Yeah, never give out your recovery phrase to anybody, anywhere, anytime. Anyway, I've said this over and over again. I'm sure you've heard me say this a million times before. You're probably tired of hearing me say it. But this is the largest attack surface for stealing crypto, is tricking the end user. Right? Click on the 2 down arrow to see how many email addresses. Oh, it wasn't sent to that many. I was surprised that it was only like 4 different people. I don't know who these other people are, but I was kind of surprised that it wasn't a bunch. I think like if most people, if they see that an email has been CC'd to like 50 different people, they're a little skeptical. But this one kind of looks like they just sent it to, a couple of your friends or whatever. I don't know. Yeah, it's obvious that it's a phishing email. But I mean, when I first got it, I was a little interested. I thought it was from Ledger when I read it, because the instructions are pretty generic. They want you to go to Ledger and update your firmware, right? The kicker is that they're asking you to reply to the message if you have any issues, which most people would, right? Bitcoin is back above 26K. That's cool. Let's look over here and see what we got. Okay, well, not on Cointelegraph, but yeah, on crypto.com. 2668, right? So yeah, a lot of FUD, but the crypto will survive. I'm just going through here. We should all petition Coinbase and Ledger to add anti-phishing passphrases codes to their communications. Curiously enough, Binance US has that. Let me see if I can find an email from, well, I mean, we just got some. Actually, they're not using it in this email. Oh, here it is. See this? I have this anti-phishing message now that I've revealed it to everyone in the world. But yeah, there is an anti-phishing component to Binance US that you set like a flag so that when they send you an email, it has your anti-phishing code on there. So yeah, curiously enough, Binance US does that. And of course, if you've got a Coinbase account, you definitely want to set up two-factor authentication on your account. And if you get an email from Coinbase, the first thing you'll want to double check is whether it says Coinbase.com in the email. That's your first check. You should be savvy enough to check that. And if you get an email from Coinbase asking for personal information or that, you need to do something or take some action, then you can always directly just log into your Coinbase account and see if that alert is in your account or not, right? So you'll always want to double check emails like that. And, if it's telling you, oh, you need to log into your Coinbase account and update your KYC information, then just do that, right? Just go to your Coinbase account independently of the email. Don't click the link in the email. So, you can, even with a legitimate email, you can override, you can take your own precautions over and above what they normally would ask you to do, right? So yeah, log into the account independently and double check the information they're requesting. The same thing with Uphold. Like when you'll get an email from Uphold, they'll say they need you to do some KYC or they need some new information from you. You can always just log into your account and it'll be there. Like there'll be an alert there that says we need your social security number, your blood type, your DNA or whatever they want, it'll be there, right? So be very wary and skeptical of emails from anywhere, from anybody, right? They're attacking your gray matter, right? Oh, thank you, Asil, for that. I appreciate it. Wow, things are coming in fast and furious here. Mr. David, do you remember going into my ID in upper right corner and clicking on the green cloud? From there, you have to opt out of something. I just don't remember. Barbara K. Oh, you want to back out of the Google, I think? Back out of the cloud? I use Android. Not sure about that. You had 4 other emails. 808 Biggie. Wow. Okay. Ronnie, we need to speak our voices at the polls. I'm very concerned about our freedoms. We can't be afraid to be political. It's time to speak out. We all know the Red Party is your best bet at this point. What is the Red Party? Is that the Democrats or the Republicans? I don't know. I'm wearing a red shirt tonight. Perhaps the manager tab is on purpose to get people confused. Oh, yeah, that could be Volt 1. Yeah, nice catch there. That may be. I'm getting phishing emails from Trezor and Exodus saying my wallet has been synced with a new device. Yeah, sure. Oh, interesting. Yeah, there are a lot of different types of phishing emails out there. Ledger should focus on education, not trying to change styles of recovery. I agree, right? I believe that this recovery service is wrong-headed at its core, right? And subject to government, what's the word for it, right? Government mandates, right? Government intervention. The government can force these companies that are storing your private key to reveal that information through, they can demand that. So nothing is really safe. We store a lot of stuff in the cloud. I'm not saying that, and we do so for convenience mostly. Our Google search history, all that stuff that is all stored in the cloud and accessible. I get that. Nothing's really private anymore. It's a sad state of affairs. I understand all that. But your your private crypto keys should not be stored in the cloud, right? It's just the antithesis of what crypto is all about, right? Because no matter how well it's safe and secured cryptographically, if it's stored on a private server, the government can demand that information be turned over, right? No matter how safe and secure it's stored or how many ways it's split up. The good thing about having my email and phone out there is always look at my email before opening my email. If phone call is not in my address book, I don't answer. Yes, I agree. The ledger hack made hell to many of us. Yeah. The Ledger customer database hack opened up a lot of Ledger owners to a lot of scams and phishing emails. Gibbon, is Seed Signer a BTC only wallet? Seed Signer, never heard of that one. Wow, interesting. Haven't heard of this one. Air Gap DID, do it yourself. Interesting. Once again, we've probably got a very high level of, and I'm going to put this in my links here. I can do a little research. We have a very high level of security, but also a high level of inconvenience, difficulty, all that kind of stuff, right? I know that security should be number one when we're dealing with crypto, but once again, if you can't afford the wallet, then it's not going to do you any good. If you can't figure out how to use the wallet, it's not going to do you any good. So safe and secure is great and wonderful, but if it's so hard to use and so inconvenient to use, then it defeats its purpose. I'll just put that out there, right? But this looks very intriguing. It looks really cool. I'll check it out. And, as I mentioned earlier in the podcast, I've got a ton of videos on using various cryptocurrency hardware wallets, right? Let's just do a Google of CryptoDad. Whoops. CryptoDad hardware wallet. There should have been more, right? But there's quite a few, right? I've done them on Trezor, Ledgers, Descent, you name it, right? So if if you're here in the live stream and you're trying to decide what kind of wallet you should use, and you're curious of, how it works and how to get it set up, I have so many hardware wallet reviews that I've been doing this channel since 2017. And over the last year or so, I've reviewed a lot of different wallets. So, check out, you can go to my YouTube homepage and search the channel, or you can just do a Google search with CryptoDad as your first term, and then put in like a hardware wallet that you might be interested in. And lo and behold, I've probably done a video on it, right? I don't know why that. Oh, I think it's Descent, right? Yeah, there it is, Descent, right? And I'm going to be doing more. This generative AI is pretty cool. If you haven't connected, if you're not, if you're worried about the cloud knowing everything about you, then I guess you don't want to enable the generative AI search in Google. But it's pretty cool. Let's see. Let's get back over here. Yeah, that looks pretty cool. But as I mentioned earlier, if you just joined the stream, Cold Card is going to send me one of their devices, and Engrave is going to send me one of their devices. So within the next week or so, I should have some more wallet reviews out there for you guys. Can I store my ETH and ETH token on MetaMask and delete the wallet from web extension and only get back to it on bull market whenever that is? Yeah, you could do that. The question SA80K is asking is if you have a MetaMask wallet and you have some assets stored in that wallet, like, for example, this wallet, it's got a little bit of Ethereum and some other tokens in it. You should have a backup phrase for this. When you set up a MetaMask wallet, they'll give you a 12-word recovery phrase, which you'll write down on a piece of paper. And you can store that paper somewhere safe and secure. You can make copies of it and store them in multiple locations. You can split it up. You can do all kinds of stuff with your seed phrase, right? And then if you want to, you can simply go into your MetaMask and just remove from Chrome. And that way your private keys won't be on the computer anymore. Now, I don't know that removing Chrome actually removes the actual private key from the computer. You might have to like go into your file system. Like, I think I would, you might want to just Google how do I completely remove MetaMask from my computer, and it'll tell you all the right folders to delete, right? If that's your intention. And then you basically have a paper wallet at that point. You have a 12-word recovery phrase that's completely offline. If that's your intention, you could do that, right? And then maybe 10 years down the road or whatever, if you want access to those assets, then you can restore the wallet back into a fresh copy of MetaMask or a different wallet, right? There are a lot of wallets that support the 12-word recovery phrase. It's still simple. Not your key, not your crypto. If your key's in the cloud, your crypto's in the cloud. Very good point, Zoltan. I appreciate that. I totally agree with that statement. I'm waiting on your video on the Ngrave wallet. Yeah, me too. I've been waiting for a long time to get my hands on an Ngrave wallet. I kind of dropped the ball with them back in 2020. I don't know how long it took them to get this wallet to market, but I was talking with them in 2020, and then when someone mentioned this wallet and I did a little research, I realized that I had been talking to them a couple years back. So I'm not sure how long it's been available, but I'm going to get one. Seriously would like to see you do a show talking about pro-crypto politicians in the House and Senate. We need to know and get this info out to people. That's a good topic. I can do a little research on that. I know that there is a cryptocurrency caucus in the House. Crypto caucus. Oops. Blockchain caucus. All right. So these are the guys that are in the blockchain caucus, and quite a few senators. I'm sorry. These are congressmen. I'm not sure if there's any pro crypto senators. I'm not sure. I don't know if Rand Paul is pro crypto or not. Ted Cruz, I'm not too sure. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, that's a good topic of conversation. Support these guys. I get the feeling, Dan, you might be just a bit older than the target audience. Cynthia Loomis is pro-crypto. Robert F. Kennedy is pro-crypto. Ted Cruz is pro-crypto. Cool. Another wallet that looked good was the Foundation Passport, but it's expensive. Huh. Foundation Passport. Okay, yeah, it's another $200 wallet. Maybe I'll try to contact them. Oop-a-doop-a-doo. New tech, right? So many hardware wallets out there, right? But Air gap. Well, it's air gap. It doesn't tout the fact that it's open source software though, or firmware. But you know. Let's see. Another wallet that looked good was Foundation. Okay. The CryptoDad, I just bought SafePal. Any thoughts? Let me see. I think I reviewed SafePal. Oh, yeah, I think I did. Let's see here. Thank you, Robert. Nice to have you. I thought I did a video on SafePal. Okay. Cool Wallet Pro. Maybe that's the one I was thinking of. That's different. I thought that I had done a SafePal. I guess maybe I didn't. See, now I get confused. I'm getting so old. Maybe I haven't reviewed SafePal yet. Okay. It looks really familiar, though. I'll have to tell you that there are some wallets that I remember I don't know if it was this one, but I remember I was dealing with a company and they sent me a wallet and a hardware wallet similar to this. I don't know that it was SafePal or not, but I had trouble entering the password. Because one of the first things that I was asked to do using the wallet was enter a password. And the interface was so wonky for me that like when I tried to use their little pad to like enter my password, I couldn't even get my password confirmed. Right? I would enter what I thought was a password, and then on re-entry, they kept rejecting it, saying it's not the same password you entered the first time. And after several tries with this wallet, and I don't think it was SafePal, I just remember I was so frustrated with the interface and trying to use the wallet that I told the guy, look, I can't use this wallet. I'll send it back to you. And he was kind of PO'd at me. He was like, oh, it's really easy. Just, well, and I'm like, no, it's not really easy because I've used a lot of different wallets and it's really difficult to use this wallet. You know, it's too small. I can't see the numbers right. And when I push down on the button, it doesn't always take when I do it. So while I'm trying to enter a password, I can't tell if it actually took it or not. And, you know, I can't see, the screen doesn't give me any indication. So I just like, I'm done with this. And the guy was really mad at me. And I was like, I'm sorry, but, you know, I can't use this wallet. I'll send it back. Right. And then he was like, I don't want it back. Whatever. But yeah, I mean, if it's too difficult to use for me, and you know, like I have a lot of patience, right? But if it's too difficult for me to use, then the people out there that want to get a good wallet, it's going to be too hard for them too. So a lot of times I'll encounter a wallet that's just too hard to, like, the interface doesn't work right for me. I don't know that it was SafePal. But I remember there was a hardware wallet that I just couldn't get it to work right for me. And maybe it's just because I'm old. Zoltar, Rex and our team sat down with our local congressman, and he said exactly what you're feeling and nothing has changed. Yes, we have spoken to, I don't know that Huizinga is here. Yeah, he is. Yeah. we did have a meeting with Bill, and a year or two ago. Yeah, they got there's a lot of, politics sucks. They have a lot of stuff on their plate and a lot of people pulling them in different directions. So I don't know that the blockchain caucus is what I would call pro-crypto. Pro-blockchain can mean a lot of different things. But whether they really want people to be managing their own digital assets, I lost it. In a decentralized way I don't know that that's really their number one agenda, right? They're pro blockchain, but maybe not pro self-custody. I guess that's what I'm trying to get out of my mouth. Nano X, you can update your token apps without updating the firmware. Yeah, why don't I do that? So I'm going to turn off experimental just to get rid of that message. It's just bothering me. I probably have an app that was on there. But yeah, the new firmware is 2.2. And this is the old one, 2.1. So yes, I can go ahead and run this app update without updating the firmware. I'll do it right now. Let's turn this little guy on. We should see it on the device here shortly. Maybe it's not finding it. Oh, here it goes. Okay. Looks like it's starting. Oh, there it goes. See? So yeah, I mean, I can run app updates without updating the firmware, right? The firmware has not changed. Also, another thing I'd like to point out is several people contacted me in YouTube comments, and I think someone even sent me an email about the software update. There was a new version of Ledger Live that came out that was version 2.6, and a lot of people thought that was another firmware update. And they were freaking out. What is this new firmware update? And I had to explain to them, no, this is not a firmware update. This is the application update for the Ledger Live software. It has nothing to do with the firmware. So yeah, you should be able to update to the latest version of Ledger Live, and you should be able to run any app updates that you encounter without updating your firmware to that version 2.2 firmware. But as I don't even see the firmware update anymore. It's like they took it down. Maybe they were, no one was using it. So we'll see. Haven't heard anything official from Ledger about it yet. But I don't see there was an alert bar at the top saying that there was a new firmware update available, and I had been refusing to use it. But it's possible that because I kept refusing to use it, that it disappeared. But have never seen that happen before. And generally, if there is a firmware update available, you have access to it from the My Ledger section, right? It should be there if Ledger wants you to do it. So it looks like they took that down. Would you buy a coin which is 99% down from its all-time high and has a nice pack of developers behind it, Juno? I don't do coin evaluations, unfortunately, so I don't answer questions like that. I don't give investment advice. But I would say that just about every altcoin is down 99% from its all-time highs right now. Yeah. I think you can look at that on CoinGecko. Like, for example, let's do Cardano. I'm not sure where it is. Here it is. All-time high, it's down 91% down off its all-time high. Let's see what else we got here. Let's do Polygon. Polygon is 78. Polygon is 78% off its all-time high. Hey, Vinny, thank you. I appreciate that. First timer. Good job. I appreciate your support for the channel. I don't know if you had a question or not, Vinny, but if you want, throw one out. I appreciate the support. Let's see if we can find something that's 99%. Let's look at Dogecoin. 91. Okay. 91% off its all-time high. Shiba Inu. What's that? 91%, 92%. Let's just call it 92. So yeah, I mean, almost every altcoin out. Let's look at Ethereum. 64% off its all-time high. Let's look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin is 62% off its all-time high. Right. So yeah. In the crypto world, you're going to see a lot of coins that are way off their all-time highs. And as I've said this over and over again as well, I think it's really unfair to judge a cryptocurrency by its all-time high. Because over the course of Bitcoin's lifespan, it was above 50,000 for, say, a month or so. So to compare Bitcoin to its all-time high of 68,000 is rather unfair. Chaos Reigns just subscribed. That's cool. Thank you. So yeah, I mean, you can judge a stock that way because stocks are a little more stable. At least they used to be. They're not as stable as they used to be back in the day. But to judge an asset solely comparing it to its all-time high, it's a little unfair for cryptocurrencies, right? Because they're very volatile, and when they hit those all-time highs, they don't hold them very long. Let's see, JDO. Oh, you still have the, okay, so Warren B still has the firmware update at the top of his screen. Yeah, I don't know why they took it off mine. It's really weird that I don't have the nudge for the firmware update off at the top of my screen anymore. That's never happened to me before. But I've never refused to run my firmware update for so long before. Usually I will do it as soon as it's available. So, but there's probably a way to go download it on the Ledger site if you really want to update your firmware. I would think. I don't know. Haven't done that in a long time either. Hi, CryptoDad. You've helped me move and add things so easily over the past year. Thank you. Well, thank you, Keith. I appreciate that. I've hoped that I've been helpful to people. Evelyn Mitchell, hello from Missouri. If I have crypto in my Ledger Nano, should I update the firmware? I didn't, but we spoke earlier about that firmware update. According to Ledger, the firmware update is going to make the Ledger Recover service possible, but it's completely voluntary, right? Only if you go through the steps to enable that service will your device export your private keys to the cloud, right? The fact that you've run that firmware update only enables the ability to run that service. And Ledger swears up and down that it's only by user action that that's even possible. Right, and I take them at their word. They've been pretty good at their word for a while now. No one has stolen my crypto. It hasn't magically disappeared on me, and I've been using my ledger for 4 or 5 years now, right? So they have a pretty good track record. I personally, just out of principle, did not run that firmware update, and now it appears to have disappeared. So I don't know. I think the general consensus in the crypto world is not to run that latest firmware update, which updates you to 2.2. That would be my advice to you at this point. Until things shake out, right? Until we figure out where we're at. I think, like Andreas Antonopoulos advised people not to run that firmware update. Keep in mind that, as I just mentioned, Ledger says it's a completely voluntary. Just updating to that firmware is not ipso facto making your device vulnerable, right? There's just a small chance, and even, you know, I can't stress this enough. We're talking about such a minute possibility. It's like wearing a helmet because you're worried of meteors falling, right? So I had someone in a panic that had run the firmware update and then decided that they were worried about it, and so they wanted to run out and buy another device that wasn't on the latest firmware and then transfer everything over to the non-firmware updated device. I mean, they were just like really overreacting to this whole thing, right? If you haven't updated to it, my advice is maybe don't. If you've already updated to it, don't freak out and think you need a different ledger or to migrate to a different device, especially if you've been using your ledger and you have a lot of assets on there. Just stay calm. Now, another thing that a lot of people have pointed out about this issue with the issue is people don't trust their ledger seed phrases anymore. And I think that's a big overreaction to all of this. But that's the fear, is people don't trust their ledger private keys anymore. They think they're vulnerable to being exported off the device. Always have, right? And even more so if you run this firmware update. But if you're worried about that, then you can add a passphrase to your ledger device. And if you have a base configuration and then you add a passphrase and then store your crypto in the passphrase configuration, the base seed phrase will not give anyone access to your crypto, right? It'll just be an empty base configuration. The only configuration that will actually have any crypto will be the passphrase protected configuration. And that is the passphrase that you and only you know. So generally your seed phrase is private. It's never leaves the device. It's generated locally on the device. It's a random seed phrase. You write it down, you store it, you manage it. It is safe and secure. But if you don't trust it, and a lot of people don't trust it anymore, then you can always add a passphrase to your base configuration and just manage your crypto from there, which means that every time you use your device, you will need to enter your passphrase. And then from there, you can manage all your crypto. The only problem with that is if you already have a bunch of crypto on your base configuration, then thank you, Bit Warrior. I'll try not to lose my place. I think the JDO was worried about that. If you already have a bunch of crypto stored in your base configuration, then adding a passphrase is not going to automatically protect that base configuration. You will have to transfer all of that crypto into your new passphrase protected configuration, and that involves transfer fees. And it could be quite a monumental task if you're storing 20 different cryptos in your ledger base configuration. But it can be done. And if you're, so that is a way that you can still have the ease of use, the industry support of the ledger device, which is second to none, you can always add a passphrase. Someone wants to join. Oh. Someone wants to join the live stream. Right? He's just sitting. He's just sitting like a little doll. He had to make an appearance in the live stream, right? That's like a weird way to sit, cat. Okay. That was fun. Yeah. So if you really don't trust your ledger seed phrase and you want to continue to use your ledger device, then just set up a passphrase. If you buy it outright, it's an empty device, and you're worried, just set up a passphrase. You can run the latest firmware. It doesn't matter, because no one will, even if they export your so-called seed phrase serendipitously, you still have your passphrase, which is like a 25th word, and then your assets will be safe and secure. Right? So that's the ultimate solution to this little conundrum that we have. And I mentioned last week that I did that passphrase video, and I'll post a link to it again tonight. For those of you who want to review that video, once again, I will, and using a passphrase, I would not recommend for new users. It's difficult, it's inconvenient. If you lose your passphrase, you lose your crypto. It totally depends on you to manage your passphrase. And if you're brand new, it's hard enough just managing your seed phrase, right? Your 25 or your 24 word seed phrase is enough responsibility, right? And then you tack on more responsibility by adding that passphrase, which is difficult to enter, inconvenient, and you could lose that. So you're adding a lot of complexity to your crypto routine. So once again, we get down to this whole balancing act between, let's go back to this, right? Let's go back to this. Let's go back to this. Your crypto routine. If you're using crypto on a fairly regular basis, you go into your Ledger Live, you want whatever it is, however you do it, whether it's Trezor or Ledger or Nifty or Engrave or Descent or Tangem, you're going to have a routine where like you'll manage your assets, right? And you don't want that to be like a grueling, difficult, cumbersome, and inconvenient experience. So yes, security is good, but you have to have a decent balance between security and usability, right? If you're savvy enough to deal with this passphrase issue on your Ledger device, that is the ultimate solution to this whole, mistrust of your Ledger seed phrase. Just add a passphrase, but then you'll have to transfer all of your assets to the passphrase configuration. Right? You simply can't add a passphrase to an existing configuration. It comes out it's like a whole blank new wallet once you enter that passphrase, and you'll have to transfer your assets over. If you're starting from scratch, bully, right? Set up your Ledger device and add your passphrase and go to town, right? So then the only set and forget method is paper. To a certain extent, the Ballet wallet is a pretty decent set and forget solution, but does require a small amount of trust. in the company, right? Because they're the ones that generate the private keys at the factory. They have a safe and secure way of doing it. But what's cool about Ballet Wallet is it's basically, let me go here. The way that it works is, I'm going to take this thing out. It's like a card. It's made of metal. And it has the private key on the outside. And then the private key is under this sticker, right? So it is fully self-contained, right? No one has access to it. It's fully offline. But like I said, you have to have that certain level of trust in the company. And then you manage your assets with their app, right? Right, so your assets are stored, on these cards, and you can manage them from within the app. And the nice thing about Tangem is there's no firmware updates to worry about because it's just the keys, right? They can be imported, exported into anything. About as close as you can come to a paper wallet, but much more easier to use. And also, I should also, but yes, a paper wallet is a very good set and forget solution, but I've heard lots of horror stories about people who set up paper wallets and then added a passphrase and forgot it. I don't know if it's going to take me to this page, right? Okay. Yeah, so you can generate a paper wallet, right? Now, I'm just doing this online, right? You wouldn't want to do this online. You would want to, you could go to this website and then disconnect your computer from the internet and then print this out. And yes, you've got a nice, cool paper wallet that's completely offline, but you have to remember that your printer queue could possibly be a vulnerability when you use your printer. A lot of printers are connected online, so when you actually just printing something could be a security issue, right? But let's assume that you've generated this paper wallet, it's offline, and you managed to print it, on a local printer, so there was no leak or whatever. And then now that you've got this paper wallet, you can store it somewhere safe and secure. You can scan this public address with any other type of Bitcoin wallet or whatever, or just simply type this in to make deposits into the wallet, right? And you can monitor your balance using this as well. And you don't have to update the firmware, blah, 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 blah. But where is it? I think there's, and this is open source, right? There's a GitHub repository to this. They have some other options here, but I think there's I think there's a way to add a passphrase to these paper wallets. And I would, if you know what you're doing, great. But I had a lot of people contact me that set up paper wallets with that additional security because they wanted to be super safe and secure, and then they lost the password, forgot it, and now they wonder why they don't have access to their assets. Who can they try to call somebody who thinks they're going to solve the issue for them? You can't. It's past 8. I've gone over. I want to thank everybody for being here tonight. What if you delete a passphrase and then add it back? Any problem? The way passphrase works is as long as you know the passphrase, you can re-enter it again, and whatever you put in that configuration will always be there. In fact, the way the Ledger device works is that every time you open up the device, it asks you to set a passphrase. Makes it seem like you're doing it for the first time each time. But as long as you enter the exact same one you entered before, you'll re-access that configuration. The same with Trezor. I don't have it connected right now. I disconnected it. But there's a password entry for the Trezor as well. It's a little easier to use a passphrase with a Trezor, but slightly less secure because you are typing it into your keyboard each time you access it. Whereas the Ledger device, you always enter it directly on the device. Anyway, thanks for being with me tonight, guys. I really appreciate all your support, all the tips, all the new subscribers. Thank you so much. Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Daniel, JDO, and thank you, Kenny, for all of the news and support. I really appreciate you guys. It's great to be here. We didn't have any rabid scammers this week, so I guess we're okay. You cannot move your Binance off of Coinbase. I'm not sure what you mean by that, Yvonne, but I would direct you to the video that I posted not too long ago, which was about removing your assets from Binance. Because I don't know that you can, if you have Binance coin on Coin, I don't know how you would have Binance assets on Coinbase anyway. I think what you're trying to say is something like this. I'm not sure. Something like that. Check that video out. It explains how you can withdraw from Binance to Coinbase to cash out. If that's what you want. If you've got Binance US dollar on Coinbase, you should be able to trade it for cash if you want, or trade it for another, like for Bitcoin and then to cash, right? There's always a way to trade out of any assets you have on Coinbase. Yeah. Anyway, I got to go. Good being here tonight, guys. Thanks again. Let's see. We're going to do this, right? Yeah. Don't forget. Oh, I know that thing is like showing over in the corner. It's over here. I guess, I don't know why the... Anyway, I guess because I moved it back, right? We can do this. There. No, it looks right. I don't know. Maybe the camera got turned slightly. But once again, join me next week. We do this every Saturday night, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please join me again for the live stream from Michigan, where you can throw out questions, and I'll do my best to get them answered. Hope to see you there. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you'd like to subscribe to my channel, I would appreciate it. When you subscribe, there's a little bell that you can click. That will allow you to be alerted whenever I post new content. Once again, thanks for joining me, and hope to see you again soon.